Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Diaries Chanel. The airport is always a place of farewell and meeting. But that day, it witnessed a sweet moment that cannot be forgotten by anyone who loves the hidden story between the two most shining idols of BTS, Jimin and Jungkook. Wearing casual outfits that still steal attention, they walked together towards the departure to Los Angeles. But it was not only the destination that made the hearts of fans flutter, but the way they walked side by side, as if the world had shrunk just for the two of them. When the fans' cameras captured their movements, something simple but so moving happened. Jungkook got out of the car first, welcoming the morning sunlight and the crowd of the airport. Then, in a very quick but meaningful moment, Jimin followed, and with a gentle movement, his hand touched Jungkook's hand. Just a glimpse, but long enough to make time seem to stop. They held each other's hands, like two parts that did not want to be separated, even in the middle of a sea of people and camera spotlights. By their side, Suga walked quietly, looking like a protective hyung who was used to seeing the silent intimacy between his two dongsangs. Suga's presence added a warm impression to the moment, like a small family traveling together. But all eyes couldn't take their eyes off Jikook from the gazes that met, from the small smiles that only the two of them could understand, and of course, from the handshake that was more than just a habit. Armies who witnessed this incident through fancams and social media clips immediately flooded the internet with emotional reactions. Some were silent, some shed tears of emotion, and some screamed because they were too happy. How could two people show love without words, only through meaningful touches? The airport became a silent witness to something that might never have been confirmed verbally, but felt real to those who believed. Jikook, in his silence, always had a way of showing that there was something special between them, a bond that couldn't be explained with logic, only felt by the heart. And that day, amidst the hustle and bustle of the trip to Los Angeles with Suga, their clasped hands at the airport became a symbol of closeness, comfort, and perhaps a love that they never really hid. They just guarded in their own way. Even after they disappeared beyond the airport gates, the moment lingered like a soft echo in the hearts of those who watched. The warmth of Jimin's gentle touch on Jungkook's hand was not just a fleeting action, it was a memory now carved into the timeline of Jikook's story. It spoke louder than any declaration, more vivid than any staged performance, because it was raw, unfiltered, and real. Some fans who were present described the atmosphere as almost surreal. Time really stopped, one army wrote on Twitter, when Jimin reached out. It wasn't just skin touching skin, it was a connection, a message. Another wrote, they didn't need to look at each other for long. The energy between them said it all. It was like they've always had their own language. Photos and videos spread like wildfire. Every frame was dissected. How Jimin's fingers lingered just a second longer. How Jungkook's shoulder leaned slightly towards him. How their pace matched perfectly, as if walking in synchrony was something they've always done without thinking. Fans created edits, wrote poems, and even made short films capturing that airport moment. It was no longer just a passing clip, it had become a symbol of something deeper. The wordless connection between them reignited many discussions within the fandom. Was it friendship? Was it a bond that transcended labels? Whatever it was, it reminded fans of previous moments: Busan handholds, New York glances, Tokyo hugs. It felt as if this simple touch at the airport wasn't just new, but a continuation of something that had always been there. A thread, invisible to the world but shining for those who cared to see. Back at the airport, the stills captured more than just motion. Jimin's face held a calm softness, his eyes focused on Jungkook with a quiet intensity. Jungkook, always alert yet calm, seemed to relax for a moment as their hands touched. Perhaps it was the comfort of familiarity, or the reassurance that no matter how loud the world became, they still had each other in their silent corner of it. Suga's presence during this scene added a grounding element. As he walked beside them, unfazed and peaceful, it gave the moment even more authenticity. Like an older brother watching over younger siblings who didn't need to explain themselves to anyone. His calm energy blended into the scene like a quiet witness, someone who knew the story, who had seen its pages unfold slowly over time. As the plane took off toward Los Angeles, fans were left staring at the clouds with thoughts filled with wonder. What awaited them there? A new project? A quiet escape? A shared dream? Regardless of what was ahead, what mattered most was the glimpse they had left behind, a moment of truth, of unguarded emotion, of something too tender to fake. The journey to LA may have been professional on paper, but for many who saw them at the airport that day, it felt personal. It felt like a chapter in a book they had been following quietly, patiently, page by page. And this airport scene, simple, short, but deeply meaningful, became one of the most unforgettable paragraphs yet. Jikook never had to explain. They never needed words. Their story was always written in gestures, glances, timing, and tiny details. And once again, without warning, they gave the world a quiet masterpiece. One hand reaching out, one heart responding. A whisper of love in a world full of noise. As the sun continued to rise, casting golden light on the runway, it almost felt poetic. Like the universe itself paused for a second to witness what thousands had just seen, a soft touch that said everything. And maybe that's what Jikook has always been. Not a confession shouted from the rooftops, but a series of gentle truths hidden in plain sight. For those who believe in soulmates, in destiny, in bonds that don't require explanations, this moment was enough. It was everything. And in that single second, at that airport in Seoul, Jimin and Jungkook once again reminded the world why their story will always be worth watching. And that's it for today's story, dear Jikook Diaries family. Sometimes, it's the quietest moments that speak the loudest. A simple touch, a fleeting glance, a shared silence, these are the pieces that make up the most beautiful love stories. Whether you see it as friendship, fate, or something even deeper, one thing is certain. Jimin and Jungkook continue to show us that love doesn't always need words, it just needs presence. If today's story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Jikook Diaries channel for more tender, magical moments like this one. Because here, we don't just follow the headlines, we follow the heartbeats in between. Until next time, keep believing in gentle hands, soft smiles, and the quiet magic of Jikook. Purple Heart.